Hey friends, it's Will and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Got a little bit of a special one. So we're about to hit 21,500 subscribers, which is absolutely outrageous, and I'm so grateful for all of you. YouTube absolutely changed my entire life. When I started it 4 years ago, I did it because I was talking at the time with Ali Abdaal, one of the most famous YouTubers probably in the world. He's a productivity guru, basically. I was talking to him about my leather work. Can't remember how it came up. And he said, "Oh, you're an expert in leather, you should start a channel. It will change your life, I promise you. If you're consistent and you put out content people love," which obviously I do, barring a couple of comments here and there, "it will change your life." And it absolutely has. Without YouTube, I would not have the community that I have built, and I'm so grateful for all of you that are in that community. Speaking of which, don't forget to subscribe. But one of the things that has come out from this channel is I had the ability, which I'm super grateful for, to buy myself a new MacBook, which was dying, and YouTube has allowed me to do that, to buy a new MacBook. So today, we're making a MacBook sleeve. I was given this skin. It's absolutely gorgeous. I was given it by my parents for my 34th birthday. It is from Tannery Remy Carriot, I believe is how it's pronounced. Don't decapitate me in the comments if I have got that pronunciation wrong. I may have. But it's absolutely gorgeous. I'm in love with it. And it's my favourite colour. It's like a bluey purple. I'm not sure if that comes across perfectly on screen, but that's exactly what the colour is, and I love it. So, my MacBook is obviously not brand new. They're expensive. It's a repurposed one, a reconditioned one, I think is what you call it. And I decided, okay, we're going to protect this thing, and we're going to make an absolutely legendary laptop sleeve. So that's what we're doing today. And one of the things that I was thinking about is, okay, do I want this to be fine leather good thin, or do I want this to be protective? Now, I want this to be protective, and we're going to do a video, I'm going to do a video on how to choose the best leather for your piece. In this case, I'm using this leather, and if you're subscribed to the channel, you'll see the video coming up about how to choose the right leather for your piece. And this changed a couple times during this build. I originally did it where I wanted curved corners at the top and the bottom, but I changed my mind to only curved corners at the bottom, just to make my life with the zip a little bit easier. So I'm putting a strip of leather across the top, which I think turned out absolutely phenomenally. But this leather is stretchy, so you don't have to, but it helps to back it, and I'm backing it with some really thin 0.4mm microfiber. And one of the things that does, it gives it a little bit more body, a little bit less stretch resistance, but also if I end up, I don't know, banging this against my bag or accidentally dropping it on the desk at uni or work, then it will protect it. And that's kind of the point of a laptop sleeve, is to protect your laptop. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to be lining the entire laptop sleeve, obviously, and I'm going to be lining it with a French goat. The reason for that being is that obviously I could have had it unlined, but it's not, I don't think that's particularly fancy, and we're doing this fancy because it's essentially a birthday present to myself, because my parents gave me the leather, so it's essentially a birthday present to myself. And I really enjoyed making this. But one of the things that I wanted to do was make it as puffy as possible. So I'm only gluing it absolutely where it needs to be. If you're a follower of my channel, if you're a subscriber of my channel, you will know that I absolutely hate over gluing things. I think it ruins pieces, and I think it stops repairability. Because my MacBook's a 16-inch, I'm not sure if I mentioned that. And one of the things about that 16-inch MacBook is that I will, when I replace this one in a couple of years, which obviously I will, I'll get another 16-inch MacBook. And I wanted this to last a very long time, but also to be a little bit structured, so that when I open it and close it hundreds of times a year, it keeps its structure. So what we're doing is on the back of the top of it, we're putting a little bit of 0.6mm bonded leather, as you just saw me do, which means that the zip section at the top of the bag has a little bit more reinforcement, a little bit more there, if that makes any sense. So when I open it over hundreds of times, that bonded leather just means that it doesn't get a little bit saggy, because no one likes it saggy, let's be honest. Now, I'm not showing you all of the stitching on this piece, and that is simply because it took about 3 days to stitch. The bigger something is, the more stitching there is, and when you decide to put a accent strip across the top of a gigantically wide sleeve, it takes a long bloody time to stitch, so I do apologize for that. But I'm not going to show you all of the stitching. If you'd like to see stitching, it's on basically every single one of my videos, so enjoy, but I'm not showing you all on this. Now, normally I like to use a silver hardware for stuff, basically. I like silver and I like blue, but I thought, why don't we try a bit of black on blue? And I think it looks really, really good having that black on blue. The other thing I'm not showing you in this video is the pocket. Now, the reason for that is because it takes a long time to make a pocket. And if I was going to show you that, it would have taken hours to show you how to make this thing. Let me know in the comment section down below, do you want me to show you how to make a, let's call it hidden pocket, because it's between two layers? Would you like me to show you how to do that? If you're not interested, I won't bother, but if it is something that you'd like, please do let me know. Now, the amount of air in this piece kind of gives it that protection that I wanted it to have, because obviously I'm only stitching the lining across the top, like here, and across the sides, which you'll see momentarily. But again, here is another length of stitching which I'm not going to show you because it just took way too long. Do you like the black with the blue? I think I do. I think I love it. Let me know in the comment section. Do you like the black and blue? This pattern will be available on my website if you want to make one for yourself. It did take quite a lot of trial and error, so it is the pattern that is on my website, or will be in the next day or two, will be very marginally different to the pattern that you see me make here, but it's better, I promise. I'm having my pattern maker sort that out. It's going to look phenomenal. So if you do want that, let me know, if it isn't already in the description box, of course. Now, this was a zip guide that I had made several years ago. It's something that I'm considering having made and selling to you guys, because getting a good that zip guide took quite a lot of work, because it's not a single zip. It has all three, M4, M6, M8, all of the common zip sizes. And yes, you can buy singular zip guides, and they work fine if you use one zip size. However, I use lots of zip sizes, or 3 of them in fact. So if you'd like me to start selling those on my website, please do let me know. I need to gauge some interest before I start developing my own tools, which is something I really want to do. Now, the skive that you do on a piped seam is super important. You skive 10 mil in down to 0.8, and that is a really important number to remember, because when you bend it around, I don't snip my corners, so some people will put little cuts in their corners when they're putting the piping on so that it's a little bit easier to do. Now, I don't do that. This is me testing the thickness for the piping strip, which I do at 1.1 millimeters, because when you fold it in half with the piping in it, it's 2.2 millimeters, funnily enough, which I find the perfect thickness for this. Now, I used to do my piping strips at 2 centimeters wide, so 20 mil wide. I no longer do that. I now do my piping strips at 18 mil wide, just because it gives it slightly less work afterwards. You don't need quite that much material inside, it's not necessary, and it also makes it a little bit easier for flipping it at the end. But like I was saying, I don't put cuts in my piping, and the reason for that is because, well, I don't have a big machine and it's not really necessary. So by a big machine, I mean like a sanding machine, because if you put cuts in there, you have two options. One, you have to bind it to cover the cuts, or two, you sand them down and sand them off. I don't have a big sanding machine, so I can't do that. But what I can do is make them really, really crispy with a hot creaser, like I just did. Now in a moment you'll see me skipping some holes, and you'll be asking me, Will, why do you skip some holes? And the reason for that is simple, because you just do not need a stitch every 3 millimeters for a piped edge. You just don't need it. You need probably a 6 millimeter, 5 or 6 millimeter pricking hole. So I don't have a 5 or 6 millimeter pricking iron. I would love to get one, and I intend to at some point, but I don't currently have one. So what I do instead is I punch the holes with my 3 millimeter pricking iron, and then I skip one, and you can just about see it here. It's really hard to pull this through, by the way, because it's like a centimeter thick or something stupid, but the stitching gap is enormous, because it doesn't need to be tight. Well, it doesn't need to be lots and lots of stitches per inch. It can be wider, and it can often cause more stress when you flip it if you have a more concentrated stitching gap. Normally I fast forward through my stitching, but I didn't on this because I wanted to show you just how incredibly bloody difficult it is stitching through piped edges, and why piped edge stuff that is handmade is expensive, because it's really hard to do. And here we go, here's the big flip. Now what I did before pressing record is I poked a hairdryer in there for like 5 minutes to get that leather super pliable and malleable, to allow me to flip it more easily and not damage the leather. But the great thing about grained calf like this, embossed grained calf that's super soft, is flipping it is very easy. And I absolutely love the zip pulls I made, which are lizard. They match the calf skin perfectly, as you'll see in a moment. Let me know if you want to see a video on how to make a zip pull. I don't think I've done one, I can't remember. But if you'd like to see one, let me know. I will make one and you can see it. Have a phenomenal week. Take care, guys.